Today's podcast is sponsored by Grappa Restaurant, 22 Railroad Avenue, Warwick, New York. We have outdoor seating, indoor seating, upstairs bar, fantastic food and ambience. Come join us, Grappa Restaurant.
Hey everybody, welcome back. John Alite Show. I'm on a roll. I've been back a couple weeks now, and I'll be gone for the summer. I'm filming, and I'll be going to Europe like I usually do for about 6 weeks. And hope to see you soon. Subscribe, hit the button if you guys like what you hear. And today I'm going to tell you a little history. So we're going to start off. This is about a club called Cousins. It's on 79 in, I believe it's Marlborough. So years ago, when I came home, I went into a club with about 4 or 5 guys. I walked in. One of my sons was with me at the time, Jimmy, the one who just came home from prison. He just did about 6 years, 7 years total. He went in and out, caught another case for a shooting, caught a case for a gun, and hopefully he's on track, changes his life like I did. We went to the bar, restaurant, club, whatever it is, and the guy Charlie owns a place. Nice guy. He's a nice enough guy. He owns a couple of places. Walked in. I was with a black woman that's friends with me. Her son grew up with my kids. She happened to be sitting down. Guy came over, big guy, 6'3" or so, real good shape, obviously roiding, and a little drunk, belligerent, kept bothering her, and I asked him nicely, please leave her alone. I know you're drinking, go talk to somebody else. At the time, I don't think the club had security. They didn't have any bouncers, I don't believe. And he didn't listen. He walked a couple of feet away from me, and he got a beating. Decent beating. They called the police on me. Now, Charlie's a regular guy. That's what they do. Regular guys, they call the police. I just got out of jail myself, and they had it on camera, and I was on parole, and they accused me of beating the guy, or ordering the beating of the guy. And I waited a couple of weeks, and I was just, at that time, I went back in the club in the afternoon, and I asked the owner and the managers to step outside to talk to me. I went alone, I didn't go with anybody. And they refused to come outside, they didn't trust me. And they told me, you can't come in the club or the bar. I didn't have a problem with it. I says, well, you own the place, you guys run the place. I won't come in the bar. But they started telling people they were mob guys, and they were around mob guys from the Genovese family. Do I know that to be a fact or not? No. Do I care? No, not really. And I says, are you guys threatening me not to come in? I said, then I'll come in. If you just ask me politely as a businessman, listen, John, we don't want you to come in our club, we don't want no trouble, don't come in, I'd be okay with that. So I said to him, why you don't want me in the club? Well, we seen you walk in with these guys. I said, yeah, I did walk in with them. And he says, well, and he got a beating. I says, yeah, the guy was bothering a girl, but I didn't tell anybody to give anybody a beating. I says, and you're telling me at one time you're associated with the Genovese family, but you're also telling me you called the police on me. You're also telling me you're looking at videotapes of me. So which one is it? Do you want to be a gangster, or do you want to be affiliated with gangsters, or do you want to be a club owner, a legitimate businessman? After the conversation, he says, okay, you could come back in. So I come back in, I have lunch. A couple weeks later, a month later, 2 months later, I don't remember. And everything's good. They don't want to give me a check, and I insisted, give me the check, and I paid the check. After that, I was told again, they don't want you in the club. So they changed their mind again. But about 15 of my friends, black guys, were having a lunch there, so I walked in. And it was a late lunch, 4 o'clock, I believe, something like that. And we came in, 15 of us, and I sat down. And again, they don't want to give me a check. I said, listen, you told me I can't come in, they told me I could come in, they told me I can't come in. I didn't come here with 15 guys to wreck your place. And maybe they're intimidated because they were black and they're not white. And I didn't choose the place, they chose the place. I happened to get a phone call from them and said, asked me to meet them there. I met them there. And you guys again said, okay, you could stay, because I guess you were intimidated because there was 15 of them. And again, I was a gentleman. I said, I'll leave if you want me to leave. And they said, no, you can stay. And I said, listen, you just keep flip-flopping. Can I come back in? They said, I said, if you don't want me in, just say it. Say it in a nice way. I won't come in. No problem. No, you can stay. And they tried not to give us a check again. And I insisted on a check, and I paid the check. Now we'll fast forward to about 6 months ago. 6 months ago again, I walk in with that same black woman who I'm friends with, and there's supposedly 10 or 15 guys on the other side of the bar. Now let me, again, I don't have problems with anybody, especially not the West Side or any other family. My problem was with the Gambino family. And even them I don't have a problem with. Don't bother me, I won't bother you. But once these guys, I don't know what's their insecurity. If the place is with you, then why do you just keep calling the police on me? You know, if you're gangsters. I went through this once before on other guys. They got cameras all over their houses, all over their businesses. Supposed to be gangsters. So what's with all the cameras? What's with calling the police? What's with the 911 calls? I just don't get it. So, you know, which way do you want to have it? And if you don't want me in there because it's your place, I got no problem with that. But the problem I have is the last time I was in there, I'm sitting with a woman, and it's 10, 15, I don't know how many of you guys, and you send a girl to tell the woman that I'm with, to tell me, you want me to leave? I mean, it's almost laughable. So why wouldn't you just send the manager over, a guy, or the owner, and which the owner ends up coming over and saying, please, I just don't want a riot in my place. And I left him saying, there is no riot. I'm not a gangster. I don't want to be a gangster. I'm not trying to intimidate nobody. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. And I'm not trying to do anything. I was just going in there to have a drink. I just came from prison visiting my son. And he told me I could come in. Now, because these guys are there, and I guess they're a little insecure or whatever it is. Or maybe they just don't want me in there. They should just tell the owner, why don't you get your facts straight and say, I just don't want you in there. We don't want anything to do with you, don't come in. That's no problem, because if they came to my place, I tell them the same thing. But when they run into me, which they do, and when they run into me when I'm with 10 guys, they're quiet. When I'm at the fights, whether it's Atlantic City or the Prudential Center, when I run into them and I'm with a ton of guys, they don't say anything. But they think, like that day I was by myself, that's going to matter to me. And I told them it doesn't matter to me how many yous are. You know, you might catch a beating, but do you think it's going to end there? And I don't care who the guys are. I don't got to know who they are. I know all the guys that run all these crews. My problem is, I say the same thing, is going to be with them. And again, anybody that knows me knows what I say. I mean, years ago, 10 years ago, a couple guys tried to jump me. And until today, nothing can happen to them, but why aren't they verbal about who it is? First of all, they can't fight. When someone hits you from behind, they don't knock you down. Something's wrong with their punch. But when guys, this is part of the life. You're going to get hurt, you're going to get jumped, that's it. If I was worried about it, I wouldn't walk around the way I do. Half the time by myself, other times, yeah, I got groups of guys with me. And I got a ton of guys too. I just don't want to live that life. But the part is the insecurity and the understanding how street guys could be so naive to believe or not understand what guys they can try to push and what guys they can't. And there's real no reason behind you trying to push. I don't get that part. If I'm not getting in your business, if I'm not getting involved in your money, if I'm not touching your money, you got nothing better to do? You're that insecure that you figure if you can try to push me or intimidate me that it'll make you a name? So that ain't gonna ever happen. Anybody that obviously from your crew or any crew that knows me, really knows me, knows that ain't gonna happen. But also, I'm not looking for problem with anybody. So if you don't want me in the club, just say like gentlemen, hey, this is our club, they're around us, please don't come in, or tell the owner to say that. Not the mixed message, come in, don't come in, come in, don't come in. So, And if that is your club, why do you just keep calling the police? Because that night also, I refused to leave because of the way the message was. I hung around for a couple hours. And then I find out phone calls from other guys that I got dragged out, beat up, pushed around. This is like children's stories. And actually, the truth is, because there was too many people that know the truth is, he's called the police on me again. So again, the police come as I'm leaving. So this is the new era of gangster. You call the cops, and whoever, and it doesn't matter. And I know who's got the place. This is how you handle your guys. This is how you handle your club. You call 911. Then you'll say, "Oh, why am I talking about this on the air?" Because I keep hearing stupid stories from all you guys that I don't even have an issue with. And if anybody thinks, I mean, listen, anybody can get jumped by a couple of guys. That can happen to anybody at any age, at any time. And if I was worried about it, like I said, or if any guy from the street was worried about it, we wouldn't get caught short. We wouldn't get shot. We wouldn't get stabbed up. We wouldn't get battered. Any of us that put ourselves out there, we got all that and stuff. So the difference is, I'm finished with the life. Leave me alone, and I'll leave you guys alone. So, but the facts are facts. He's called the police, and he's invited me in, and then you uninvited me in, then you invited me in, then you uninvited me in. So if the owner, get your owner under control, and again, he's a citizen. I get it, but I didn't cause the problem. You guys keep letting insecurity looking for a problem. Again, it's complacent. And I've said this in another show. 95% of the people comply with the police, and 95% of people comply with the mob because they're intimidated by law enforcement. They're intimidated by the mob. I'm not. I just do it because I don't want an issue. I'm a gentleman, and I expect the same behavior from guys that are sending these messages. These guys are 50 years old, 40-something years old. You're supposed to be seasoned gangsters. It's not the way to act. What kind of seasoned gangsters? That's why nobody has respect for the mob no more. Because the behavior pattern is almost like a 20-year-old insecure gang member. Anyway, if you like this, please hit subscribe, follow, and comment. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. I'll see you next week.